Welcome back to my channel. When teaching my students, I use the F word often. Yes, the F word. I have to go there. There's a lot of misunderstanding when I'm doing my math lessons, so that's where the F word comes in. Well, what F word do you think I'm talking about? Really? See, that's you. Okay, watch this.
It's like every day.
Fractions, yes, that F word is the most misunderstood, or one of the most misunderstood math concepts. So here I have the comparison to a whole. Okay, so you have a whole part here. Then we have various different fractions at the top that you can see what are equal to the whole. So these pieces are fractions, and of course they are less than the whole. So you have a half here. Okay, so a half. So the students will know that 2 halves make a whole part. And then the other most common fraction are quarters. So if you can show them here that 2 quarters is a half. See, a half of the whole here. So 2 quarters is a half. But then what you can do then is show them that an eighth is half of the quarter. So if I was to put another quarter here in this space and then put 2/8, then they will see here that 2/8 is a quarter, because when you have 2 of them in that space, then that's showing them that 2/8 is a quarter. So in other words, a half of a quarter is an eighth. Okay, and a half of one is a half, and a half of a half is a quarter. It sounds complicated, but it's always good to give them a visual. And what would be better would be to give them manipulatives to work with so that they can feel whether the fractions are in rectangles like this or whether they're in circles. It's always a good way to have them to feel and put them in their relevant places so that they can have a feel of how they are. So, you know, what makes a half? So you can have them having some fun with this, actually. So you got 1/10. Look how small a tenth is, right? So how many tenths would make a half, right? Or how many tenths would make a quarter, which is a half of this, right? So you can have them pressing as much as possible just to show them the reality of these fraction pieces. It's a lot of fun. This is called fractionpieces.com if you'd like your children to go on it. And it's a very good website, which, as you can see, breaks down everything. So you have 6 here, 8ths, 10ths, 12ths, and 16ths. And then, you know, you take them off. When you take them off, you press on it, and that will take them off. And then you can have them start again with other pieces so that they can have a look to see what's going on there. Here's another combination you can show them, is that you have a half here, and then you can match it and say that 2 quarters makes the half. And then you can go down here under the 1, directly under the 1, and show them that 4/8 is a half, right? See, so that's a half of the 1, that's 4/8. And then here you have the 16ths here, and all of these 16ths, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So 8/16 is also a half. All right, so yeah, you can play with it, you can play around with it, and I think this is a good way to break down the fractions to the students. Manipulatives, or you can show them like this and let them get on as well, and let them press the pieces so that they can see just how the fractions work, how the fraction pieces work. All right, if you guys have any questions, please put them in the comment section below. Like I said, it's fractionpieces.com that they can go on here, and they can mess with the pieces, just mess around with them, have a good time with them, and just see, you know, what makes what. See, you got the 12ths here, and the 12ths are tinier pieces. So the bigger the number at the bottom, the smaller the fraction pieces are. And that is what seems to be confusing with some, especially elementary school children and some middle school children also. It's good to have a visual so you can see. So directly under the half, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 twelfths. So 6 twelfths make a half. All right, so the bigger the number at the bottom, because that's the whole part. Remember, the denominator at the bottom is the whole part. So the bigger the number at the bottom, it's the smaller the fraction. And the smaller the denominator, the bigger the fraction. All right, I think that would be a great way to get them to see the fraction pieces and how they compare to each other. Let me know what you guys think. So fractions, the F word, has to be used often when you're teaching your children. It's a very misunderstood concept. So the best way to do it is to break it down into pieces. And the most important part of fractions is that they have to know that it is less than 1. It's less than a whole. So the more often you break it down to them, the more often and the better they're going to understand it. Like, comment and subscribe with that notification bell so you know every time I upload, which is every Wednesday. And I will see you next time in another math video. Thank you for watching. Class dismissed.